which have Democratic mayors, and the U.S. Conference of Mayors also joined the lawsuit. Another state, California, filed a similar lawsuit last week. When asked for a comment, a DOJ spokeswoman referred to Attorney General Jeff Sessions' April 2nd statement lamenting how California's meritless lawsuit forced it to litigate whether the government deserves an accurate count of who can legally vote in our federal elections. The U.S. Constitution mandates a census every 10 years, which is used to determine the drawing of political boundaries, the allocation of seats in Congress and at the state and local level, and the annual distribution of about $700 billion in federal funding. Critics of the citizenship question say it might dissuade some immigrants and perhaps many citizens from being counted, with a disproportionate impact on Democratic-leaning states. The citizenship question has not appeared on the census since 1950. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The zebra of the plains is perpetually hunted by a myriad of merciless predators. With no purpose other than to feed monsters, the zebra spends its entire life standing around awaiting a violent death. They are nature's ultimate prey. The zebra paces the earth, patiently going through the motions of life, knowing that at any moment it will end in a sudden shock of pain and brutality. With its black and white stripes serving as an ostentatious beacon to any nearby predators, the zebra whiles away its time before gruesome elimination. Zebra wait on the pantry shelf that is the African plain before something finds it and, at last, remembers to eat it.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
The holy thing.
Even if I just read it.
I have no way to send it to you.
No, you're not on Facebook?
No, I'm not.
Messenger?
I don't have... Let me see if... I don't have Messenger on the computer. Trump can build the wall today and make Mexico pay for it.
Yeah, there. Oh, you can, we can switch to like Google Hangouts or something. They have chat features as well, if everybody has that.
Just Google Happiness 101 Yale. It's a Reuters story. I just did that with your story. I just Googled build the wall, the hill, and boom, it popped up. First link. We've been on the air for like a minute, and I'm totally not even paying attention.
Awesome.
Yeah, because I had the server audio muted. We're over here doing prep and getting everything ready, looking up stories and stuff, and the music is running, and we're not even aware of it because I've got everything muted over here. I have everything muted but you guys. All the music, everything.
Perfect. That's great.
We'd have just sat here for 20 minutes and ran commercials and everything, and I'd have never even known it. Until I looked at the clock and was like, oh, wait, it's 4:08.
So about that show.
So about that thing we've been doing. Anyway, how you doing today, guys? This is Will Coley, broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio. It is time for the Call to Freedom. A little less than formal today.
That's one way to put it.
Right. But we've been looking at, as you could hear us discussing, we've got these different stories that we've been looking into for today's show prep. And I have turned off my Facebook page. I am no longer on Facebook. So sharing these stories with each other is not as easy as it used to be. Because I have a computer app. I'm telling you guys, we can just create like a private chat type thing on Discord. It'll be simple.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll just do that, and that'll be our little thing because everybody's on Discord. Because Discord is awesome. compared to, all the other chat sites that are out there. We've got quite a few people online with us right now. And, I want to start with this story about how, SJWs have made college into this unbearable thing where people are more depressed and unhappy than they've ever been in their life, in their history of college. I love this story.
Well, I would say it's probably not just college, The next generation in general, they're just miserable about everything.
Yeah.
Because they keep being told how awful the world is.
Oh my God, speaking of which, you know what? That brings me to the story that I wanted to cover first. If anybody didn't notice, I know I sure the hell didn't, yesterday was Punish a Muslim Day. We covered the story earlier, and basically we played a story from a rural Vermont affiliate on purpose to kind of show the ridiculousness of how far this like unnecessary henny penny the sky is falling outrage. You had one murder in Sheffield, England, about a week before this England-specific event was supposed to take place, which was yesterday. No attacks in England since then. No attacks in the U.S. So basically, much ado about nothing. And that's what this the story in Vermont said, was basically that you had these Muslim kids and they came to school, and I blame the parents for this. Muslim kids came to school basically in tears. They were just terrified. They didn't know if they wanted to come to school. People were keeping their kids out of school on Friday. People weren't going to work. There was talk, a bunch of women were talking about not wearing their headscarf yesterday, and all because of this Punish a Muslim Day, which nothing even ended up happening. And now you have, some imams who have come out and made statements about it. And, it turns out the left-leaning members of my religious community don't really appreciate when they're called out on their nonsense. But a tweet from Imam Zaid Shakir today was my brain's not working. With Punish a Muslim Day coming and going without any incident, I think it's time that we have a talk about maturing as a community.
He did notice when he typed out without incident, right?
That's what he said, without incident.
And then he wanted to talk about it like it was, this great big problem. And I agree, it's screwed up and messed up, obviously. But, without incident is a pretty key part of that tweet that he seems to not have noticed that he even typed.
Well, no, that's what he's saying. He's saying that it passed without incident, and that means it's time for Muslims in America to grow up.
Okay, I misunderstood then.
They jumped up and down and ran around like Henny Penny, and there was really no reason to whatsoever. And
people did that after Trump won too.
Yeah, I know. Basically, this event is turning the American Muslim community into the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
And that's just not a good look. I mean, I could be wrong, but I
suppose it's kind of hard though, because when I have kids, I certainly won't send them to public school if I can avoid it, because I do think that it's just a very challenging environment that you really can't control. Yeah. And even white kids get bullied. Like it's not just brown kids that get bullied, So and it's not just on a specific day either, but realistically, if there were a day that some people were saying, today is the day that all little white blonde kids are going to get beat up in school, I really might have to second guess my decision to send my kid to school that day. It's not inherently, yes, perhaps it is an instance of people calling wolf too much or something of that nature, but it's not like there has never been violence of any kind, and just because it didn't happen on this day doesn't mean that it never will happen again. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
And I'm actually if anybody knows Dean Obeidallah, I'm in the midst of a bit of a Twitter war with him now, because he has he's taken this stance that a 5% increase in in hate crimes against Muslims in the 2 years that Trump's been in office are, quote unquote, Trump's America, but a exponential increase. And when I say exponential, I mean from 2009 to 2010, it went from 60 to 170. And then from 2010 to 2015, it went from 170 to 360 hate crimes against Muslims in a year. So
I mean, that could just as easily be an expansion of what constitutes a hate crime, rather than an increase in actual incidents of crime. I mean, just change the definition of what you consider to be a hate crime, and voila, suddenly we had 300 million more of them every year.
Well, what they're saying now is that under Trump, those crimes have increased 5%, and therefore this is, quote unquote, Trump's racist America. But when Obama was in office, and those numbers, they didn't raise 5%. When you go from 60 to 170, that's not 5%. When you go from 170 to 360, that is not 5%. That is a lot more.
Like 2 and 300%.
More than 500, than 50%, than 5%. But somehow those exponential increases in hate crimes are not laid at the feet of Obama's administration. They are laid at the feet of the Trump administration. And I really hate when people don't want to be intellectually honest about something, and I end up having to say something that sounds like I'm defending someone that I don't even like, just because of the fact that you've taken your argument so far off into the deep end of intellectual dishonesty that I feel compelled to be like, look, man, could you stop making us all look like liars? Can we at least have conversations in the realms of something that somehow resembles logical clarity or reality?
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on-demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long-distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is another beautiful day here in the capital of crypto here in town. We were actually having a conversation. A young lady was like, you know what, I need to get my car fixed. And it's like, well, go to Wildwood. Spend your Bitcoin. He'll fix your car right up over there. And he'll give you, he's like literally the most award-winning private mechanic in the state. He is amazing. And he takes Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, and Dash. So.
I did not know that there were awards for that.
For being a mechanic?
Yeah, I would never have known because I've never, Yeah,
he's the man. He's like the top-rated mechanic in the, like shade tree style mechanic, I guess is what you would call it. Like he just owns his own shop. And he is, he's the man. He really is. And he gets stuff done. So I like, doing business with him. And if I'm a little cash broke, then, holy shnikes. If I'm a little cash broke, then I've always got the, Bitcoin Cash and Dash that we can use. So that was really weird. Sorry, I got distracted. It looked like Chris Cantwell was trying to call in while I was talking. I saw his face pop up on the screen. Yeah, like his face popped up on the screen and then it went away. And I was like, what the actual? So anyway, let's see here. Well, did you know college sucks? Did you know life sucks?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, it would seem that college and life suck more than they used to. This is coming from Reuters. It says here that Happiness 101, a psychology course at Yale, is striking a chord with students. The search for life's sweetest but most elusive treasure, happiness, brings nearly 1,200 Yale University graduates twice a week into an enormous hall on Connecticut's school campus for its most popular class ever, Psychology and the Good Life.
It takes an entire class to just tell them to turn off the freaking television?
For real, right? Disable your Facebook. Psychology and the Good Life is such a hit that 1 in 4 undergraduate students at the Ivy League University is enrolled in the spring semester course, according to Lori Santos, the psychology professor who teaches the class. It's the largest class enrollment size in the history of the school. That means in over 300 years, Yale being founded in 1701. What's the draw? Well, Santos says it's the hope that science can help students find blissful relief from the misery that has reached an all-time high at colleges.
So just an interjection here. Instead of fixing the misery that has reached an all-time high at colleges, we're going to just use science to make people be able to forget the misery long enough to pretend that they're happy.
Yes.
That's essentially what this is.
That's called doing drugs, isn't it?
Yeah, like, really, you could just pass around weed. It would be just as good. Right? Like, come on.
Yes. Okay, so students report being more depressed than they have ever been in history at college and more anxious. Social science.
It's also because they're whiny babies.
For real. Oh, my God. College kids have no ability to deal with nothing. I swear to God.
I'm mining crypto in my dorm, but I am just so depressed.
For real, yo. Like, I get free money falling out of the sky from the government and from my college tuition, and I'm just so unhappy. How does it happen? Don't ask me, dude. Maybe because it's like I was saying with these kids, man, at this school in Vermont. Man, there's no reason for little kids to be going to school in tears because they're scared about something that, I mean, it literally didn't even happen. I mean,
yeah, whether it's intentional or not, people are being intentionally trained to be afraid
of everything
and depressed.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, I think it's because being depressed is good for, big pharma and all the people that are associated with that. And, the more unhappy. Well, see, that doesn't make sense as far as government's concerned, though, because the more unhappy a populace is, the more likely they are to revolt.
No, but it's the source of the unhappiness, right? So these people are unhappy generally because they feel they've lost control, like they're in a situation where they have no control whatsoever. And so like the system is beating them down and making them feel weak. And so that's where you get all these celebrations of weakness and, weak people are so great. But like the end goal for the government from their perspective is if we make the people weak, then they won't revolt, right?
Yes, exactly. It says these kids, they really want to learn insights in an empirical, science-driven way into what makes people happy and how they can achieve that. The third oldest university in the U.S., Yale, boasts many famous alumni, including President George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, actors Paul Newman and Meryl Streep.
The whole class sounds like trying to use a telescope to find God living in the Milky Way galaxy.
Right.
That's not how you find happiness.
Santos says that feelings of happiness are fostered through socialization, exercise, meditation, plenty of sleep.
No way.
Money and possessions are often
no, there's
seen.
a period there. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Sleep. Money and goals are often seen as, and possessions are often seen as goals in the game of life. But the route to happiness heads in a different direction, she said.
And it varies from person to person.
Very happy people spend time with others. They prioritize time with their friends, time with their family. They even take time to talk to the barista.
Yale Gold right there.
She points out to the psychological phenomenon of miswanting, which leads people to pursue the wrong goals in life. We work really hard to get a great salary, to buy a big house. Those things are not going to make us as happy as we think. Homework assignments for the class, known as Psych 157, include showing more gratitude, performing acts of kindness, and bumping up social connections.
So I really do feel like, in a way, this is almost like cult programming, where they're like, okay, you come in here and we promise we're going to make you happy, right? And here's what you have to do. You have to give up all the desires you have for all the success that you ever want to have, period, and then go out and do stuff for free to help the community.
Well, I mean, in that she's not saying anything that, Christ and Buddha and Muhammad didn't say. So, I mean, that's not that unusual.
Right, it's not, but it's like, it's not like
actually
new
the prophet
news,
didn't
sort of.
The prophet is the only one in that group that didn't preach asceticism, which is the purposeful creation of hardship in one's own life as a form of piety and worship. So like, you're not supposed to make your life harder on purpose. So if you gave charity to the point that you couldn't feed your own children, that would be considered sinful. It's like the only religion out there that has that kind of reasoning when it comes to charity. Like, no. Feed your family first. If there's anything left over, then you give zakat. Anyway, when we get back here, are you happy? Are you miserable? Do you think a college class can actually make you happy? Give us a call, 603-283-6160. Hit us up on our LRN Discord at discord.lrn.fm or on Skype at lrn.fm. We'll be right back to discuss more of what makes you happy when we get back here on The Call to Freedom on lrn.fm.
But I would slave to learn the way is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
On May 22, 1992, beloved talk show host Johnny Carson ended his 30-year run of hosting The Tonight Show with a farewell episode that included special guests Saddam Hussein, KKK Grand Wizard Virgil E. Griffin, and a musical performance by the Flagshifters. On May 24, 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge opened, providing New Yorkers with a more efficient way of killing themselves and escaping their trash-ridden excrement cake city. The monument's historic opening was marked by hundreds of people jumping 275 feet to their deaths in order to avoid waking up every morning with the smell of horse filling their nostrils.
Before the Brooklyn Bridge, there were very few ways for New Yorkers to free themselves from the cesspool in which they lived. One method was to tie cinder blocks on their legs and walk into the Hudson River. But of course, the banks of the Hudson were so brimming with garbage and raw sewage that the putrid stench would drive back even the most desperate suicide seeker.
This is the Onion News Network.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what? Y'all should come up here and see us sometime. It is a great time coming up here in just a little while. You can, ooh, that's not it. You can come up and visit us, here in just a couple of months at an event that's coming up. You can join us and other liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, activists, and libertarians this summer from June 14th through June 18th for Fork Fest 2018 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fork Fest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and you're invited to come and create whatever experience you would like others to have. Fork Fest is completely decentralized. That means nobody's in charge, so everybody's in charge. It's up to you to create what happens. Or, well, you can simply relax and go camping with other liberty lovers. Learn more at forkfest.party. You can also join the forum or the Telegram chat group there. Again, that's forkfest.party. So we've been talking about this story from Reuters about, college kids are unhappy today. And now they are going, they're going to this class that has been so popular and that the course is now being offered free to the public through Coursera.org. On campus, the class is already paying off for Yale senior Rebecca Salazar, who described her previous mindset. What's most pressing on our minds is grades, the next job, a potential salary after graduation, said Salazar, whose family lives in suburban Chicago. Now, she said, I really try to focus on the present moment and the people around me. So basically, it's a class to teach you things you should really already know. I mean, really?
Yeah, they're being told to get on the internet to go learn a class about how to get off the internet and go socialize with people.
I just realized that that's exactly what they're doing. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, my God. Oh,
but,
Lord.
I think that, again, instead of reforming the system of the college itself, we're just going to, insert a class inside of the college system that tells you not to worry about it. But, don't worry about grades is very, very different from let's change the system by which we assess intelligence in this country. Don't worry about your next job is very different from let's change the system by which people, graduate into jobs. Let's make there be more work study. Let's make there be more, internships and things like that, that's the way that the world runs, instead of, getting all these grades and having to prove yourself constantly time and time again and jump through higher and higher hoops that are lit on fire. It's like, okay, we could change the system, or you could just, tell yourself to forget it all and live in the present moment and, not worry about it. But there's no sustainability there. Just because these students are happy in this class doesn't mean they're going to be happy tomorrow.
It's very true. Very true. Well, why aren't parents teaching adult skills to their kids? Why are you a kid in college and you don't know how to make yourself happy to start with?
Oh man, I can totally go on about this too.
My
personal belief actually is that especially due to the education system that we have these days, what parenting has turned into is essentially very, very long-term babysitting, where we say, okay, we have to make sure that the child gets this particular grade and does this particular activity and does it well. And so there's just all this yelling, but at no point do we stop and say, okay, let's teach them how to be good people.
And the television does the rest. The average American watches 35 hours a week of television, and the average child watches 40.
Yeah, which really doesn't
40 hours a week
either.
No, that's a full-time job.
I'm trying to think, in my house, if my kid, depends on which kids I've got. My littlest ones, the little one, the 3 and 4 year old, they watch more TV than the other two do. But they're not in a classroom, and half the time they're not even watching TV. They're watching other kids open toys on YouTube on the cell phone in one hand while they play with toys in the other hand. So they're doing both, my multitasking little 3-year-old.
Well, at least they do both. My nephew only does the one. He only watches other kids, open and play with toys on YouTube.
Oh, my daughter.
I don't get it.
Ugh.
I know it's a generational thing, but I don't get it.
Wait, I had no idea this was even a thing.
Oh my God!
Oh, it
it's
is.
such a thing. It's a huge thing. Millions.
And it's with
millions
video
of
games
views.
too. My nephew will sit there and watch people play video games that he has. I'm like, why don't you play it? He just doesn't.
Right.
I
He would
did
rather.
know that. I
Yeah.
did know that.
But yeah,
I mean,
kids
it's
will
not just
sit
young
and
kids doing
watch
that
other
either.
kids. They'll watch adults. They will sit and watch adults open and play with toys.
That is so
Or my daughter will get the Trolls, the movie Trolls. The characters from that have their own cartoon show now, and they also do music videos of lots of popular songs. So my daughter will listen to these old songs that we listened to when we were kids growing up, but they're sang by the characters from the Trolls. And she's doing that, and she's got her other hand, and she's just over here, and she's cooking on her little play kitchen, and walking her little pony, punching her brother.
Well, at least she's actually doing stuff.
And she's
that's
and
way
she's
better.
wiggling her little fanny in her diaper, and she's got her phone going, and that's what she does. Now my boys, on the other hand, they're like, I want to play some Minecraft. Give me the controller, I want to play Minecraft.
That's at least
And
creative.
the only television the kids get to watch is either if they're watching television with me, or if during dinner, I bring my laptop downstairs and we put the laptop on with a Bluetooth speaker, and we watch old Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood videos and Reading Rainbow.
I loved reading Rainbow so
I
much.
know.
Oh my god.
My kids do too, and it's because Amazon. We got we paid for the year's worth of Amazon, and Amazon has all those old shows that we watched as kids.
Yeah.
Except for Sesame Street, of course. But you can find the older, you can find all the Mr. Rogers, and you can find 3 or 4 seasons of Reading Rainbow. Plus, you can find a Reading Rainbow's greatest hits. So it's the ones that we remember the most, the one about the bees, and the one where he's in the hot air balloon. The ones that you remember seeing as a kid the most. The ones with the storybooks that we remember from childhood the most, like If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, stuff like that. So that's really the only thing my kids watch for TV. But I guess I'm weird. Turns out. If my kids watch TV, I just about insist that it's educational programming. And if it's not, like I said, my son's probably watched 2 or 3 hours a day, if that, of shows that they have to alternate. I want to watch Ben 10. Well, I want to watch My Little Pony. Well, then you just go back and forth. So, but I don't see how a kid could literally spend 40 hours in front of a TV in a week. How do you do that?
Easily, I'm sure.
Is it kids who are also in school doing that?
How much do
I mean, it's the average American kid watching 40 hours of television a week.
How much
I mean,
do
the
these
kid
kids
next door to
weigh?
you.
How much do these kids weigh, yo?
You may not want to know.
For real, if you're sitting your lardy self in front of the television screen 8 hours a day and you're a kid, then, oh my Lord, man, you probably weigh you're a 70-pound 2-year-old.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Uncovering the secrets and exposing the lies. That's what the readers of freedomsphoenix.com get every day. freedomsphoenix.com, constantly providing the information, the real news about government policies, and the real relationship we all have with the coercive government. The real condition of the economy, innovations in technology, breakthroughs in energy, health, and computer science. Learn the truth well before it's admitted to in the lamestream media. The corporate media, nothing more than distributors of government propaganda, but now there's an alternative. freedomsphoenix.com. Constant news updates on the issues that affect your life in the most important ways. With liberty and property under constant attack, freedomsphoenix.com provides the understanding behind the propaganda, and it encourages the participation of its readers. Go to freedomsphoenix.com. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com. freedomsphoenix.com. The revolution between the ears has already happened.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.fm पे।
Welcome here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and it is another wonderful day. We've been talking about, everybody's miserable and how unhappy college kids are today, and it's not like that's news with all the crybaby, trigger-happy crap that you see coming out of college campuses on a daily basis. But I wanted to switch gears a little bit. I'm looking here at a story just came hot off from The Hill, not even an hour ago, about 26 minutes ago, actually. This is from Anthony Kordsman with The Hill. And, if there was ever a time that you wondered if the purpose of the American media was for... was for war propaganda and constant rah-rah-rahing for the military-industrial complex and bloodshed, then this story right here will completely nip all of that in the bud. Originally, the president had said that he was going to withdraw. We were withdrawing from Syria. We're done. Just a couple of days ago. Now he has said that he's going to, maybe we're going to slow things down a little bit. Well, this guy says, no, let's not slow things down. Let's ramp things up. Leaving Syria too soon, according to the author, is a very different story. General Joseph Vattel, the commander of U.S. forces in the central region, has made that very clear. Let's see here. A withdrawal from Syria deprives the United States of diplomatic leverage, abandons the last vestiges of moderate Arab forces in Syria, and exposes the Kurdish forces that did much to defeat ISIS to defeat by Assad and Turkey. It will fundamentally undermine the already fading trust of our other Arab strategic partners, and it could be seen as a major defeat of the United States by Russia and Iran, as well as a further opening to intervention by an increasingly authoritarian Turkey in the Arab world.
Okay, so it's about penis size.
Yeah, my question is, it says here, a withdrawal deprives the United States of, what do you mean withdraw? What withdraw? When did we invade? Was there a point where we invaded Syria? That there was like discussion, debate in the Senate, in the House, where we made an official, we are invade. When did that happen? When did we invade Syria? How can there be a withdrawal if there's never been an invasion?
How can there be a defeat if we're not at war?
Exactly. Oh, but it gets better though. Now listen to this. I want to read you this line from that paragraph I just read. Says it exposes Kurdish forces that did much to defeat ISIS to defeat by Assad and Turkey. And then the very next bolded statement is ISIS and terrorism are not yet defeated.
Wow.
So if the U.S. withdraws from a war that we haven't actually invaded, that doesn't actually exist, then the already defeated ISIS that hasn't been defeated yet will, I don't know. But so far,
we'll win the war that we aren't fighting because we haven't declared.
Yes. It says here it's a dangerous mistake to assume that withdrawal from Syria can come soon and before ISIS is fully defeated, and at a time when other extremist movements are gathering power. The defeat of ISIS as a, quote, caliphate.
Well, if we'd stop decentralizing their governments, the terrorist factions may stop gaining power. Just a thought.
ISIS has been the most important single organized threat in Syria and Iraq, but it was only part of the problem, even in 2016, when it was far more powerful than it is today. The START database on terrorism, which is as close to an official unclassified database as we have, records 472 incidences of terrorism in Syria in 2016. Only 36% of those, 168, were caused by ISIS.
Were the others caused by Americans?
No, the others were caused by American-funded rebels. Yeah. The same American-funded rebels that it will be a travesty, according to the author, if we abandon. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. This is a lot to unpack because it's like ISIS has been defeated by the Kurds, even though they haven't. And we need to withdraw from this war that we haven't actually invaded. And this isn't a war. I'm like, how much do you have to contradict yourself within 4 paragraphs before a person reading the story goes, yeah, he's full of crap.
Apparently more than this much.
I mean, seriously, how do you get a job writing for The Hill if you are this self-contradictory within the course of, one article? Oh, here we go. Oh, great. This is awesome.
Well, I mean, the Americans reading that, they'll just pick the parts of it that they want to believe.
Yeah, I know. He is the Arleigh A. Burke Chair in Strategy at the Center for Strategic and International Studies in Washington, D.C., and he served as a consultant on Afghanistan to the U.S. Department of Defense and the U.S. Department of State because, Afghanistan screams, woohoo, we're winning.
Yeah, if he's
nothing
strategic advisor, he needs to be fired.
Nothing screams we are winning like the most technologically advanced military on the face of the planet getting its ass kicked by goat herders with rusty Kalashnikovs from the 70s and 80s and sat phones. I mean, seriously. These people, half the time, they don't even have water purification. Or
do you remember how Cheney talked them up before we invaded with the huge underground bunkers that were storing servers and all kinds of crap, none of which turned out to be there?
Yeah.
It was great, man.
Well, this guy wants to put
and
the
it's
costs...
goat herders with rusty AKs.
Yeah. Well, this guy wants to put the costs and benefits of this whole thing into perspective. Says, as for costs, we need strategic patience. It's fundamentally wrong to talk about costs of $7 trillion. Anything like this total must include the total cost of the Afghan and Iraq conflicts, massive estimates about additional opportunity costs, and large amounts of regular defense spending that were concealed in the wartime overseas contingency accounts.
What about the human cost, dude?
In any case, the U.S. military has vastly reduced the cost of our presence in Syria and Iraq by relying on air power and limited numbers of trained and assistant forces to support host country ground forces. This eliminates the need to deploy U.S. ground combat units because everyone knows America only hates a war when we see dead Americans on television. Oh, wait, he didn't write that part. That was my piece. Massively reduces our cost as well as casualties. If one looks at the presidential fiscal 2019 budget request, the cost of training and equipping Syrian opposition forces drops from $500 million in fiscal 2018 to $300 million.
Why is he focusing on money?
No estimates.
Has the main criticism of the war in Syria and Iraq been money?
Yes, evidently. It's because that's the...
For who?
Well,
I've never heard anybody complain, oh my goodness, we're spending way too much money killing brown people.
For the Republicans.
We need to make this cheaper.
It's the only argument you can use for a Republican to point out that, maybe bombing people in perpetuity forever is a bad idea because it's, the complete opposite of fiscal conservatism. Because look at all the money we spend. And he's saying, well, you know what? It did cost us $1.27 billion to maintain the Iraq occupation in 2018, but in 2019 it only cost $850 million. So we saved $400,000 on the cost of the occupation that year. So we shouldn't be trying to rush out of Iraq or trying to rush out of Afghanistan or trying to rush out of Syria, which we technically haven't actually invaded. And that doing so before host countries' forces are ready will waste all the money that we've already spent and planned to spend on making Iraq secure and allowing it to truly defeat ISIS and give it strength to fight off Iran.
Well, also, though, that $850 million is just predicted for fiscal year 2019.
Yeah,
so
that's not what we ever end up spending. No, we end up spending triple that every time.
So let's just come back here in a year and see how much we actually spend, see if it was more or less than $1.27 billion, right?
Exactly. All right, when we get back here, it'll be time for the Crypto Hour, so don't go anywhere. We're going to be talking about some great stories that have to do with everybody's favorite topic, cryptocurrency. So hang around. We'll be right back here on the Call to Freedom, LRN.FM.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, April 4th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,341 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $21, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,330. Antiwar.com reports a little over a week ago a car bombing killed 20 civilians outside a sports stadium in Lashkar Gah. This is an unfortunately common thing to happen in Afghanistan, but appears to have started something very unusual: peace protests. Two Helmand districts, along with multiple Afghan cities, are reporting hundreds of demonstrators holding sit-ins at several sites, calling for an immediate ceasefire and peace talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban. Some of the early protesters organized a hunger strike amongst themselves, saying they won't eat until there's at least 2 days of ceasefire. It's not clear how big a portion of the demonstrators are hunger strikers, but there seems to be a number of them in the Helmand province. The Taliban has acknowledged the peace protest already, issuing an initial statement saying that protesting the Taliban would not do any good and demonstrators should instead protest at U.S. bases, since it's the U.S. that has been keeping the war going. The U.S. invaded Afghanistan in late 2001. While the Taliban has expressed openness to peace talks in recent months, the U.S. has said they are no longer willing to talk at this time. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports the California Supreme Court on Monday upheld a controversial state law that allows law enforcement officers to take DNA from anyone who's arrested or charged with a felony. In a 4-3 vote, the court ruled in favor of the law, which has allowed California law enforcement officials to create a DNA database of tens of thousands of people who were arrested but never charged or convicted. The law was challenged by privacy advocates, including the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which argued the state's constitution prohibits the collection of DNA from arrestees because of the severe impact DNA collection has on our right to privacy. But the case had several other components, and Justice Leandra R. Kruger, who voted to let the law stand, said the DNA collection could still be challenged. The 3 judges who voted to strike down the law said the case was an opportunity to get rid of a program that allows the state to retain and search a DNA database full of people who were never convicted of a crime. Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports a group of U.S. states and cities sued the Trump administration to stop it from asking people filling out the 2020 census form whether they are U.S. citizens. The lawsuit, filed by 17 states, Washington, D.C., and 6 additional cities, challenged what they called last week's unconstitutional and arbitrary decision by the Department of Commerce, which oversees the Census Bureau, to add the citizenship question. It was also a fresh challenge to what New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, at a press conference announcing the lawsuit, called the administration's anti-immigrant animus. All of the states bringing the case have Democratic attorneys general. They were joined by New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, and Providence, all of which have Democratic mayors, and the U.S. Conference of Mayors also joined the lawsuit. Another state, California, filed a similar lawsuit last week. When asked for a comment, a DOJ spokeswoman referred to Attorney General Jeff Sessions' April 2nd statement lamenting how California's meritless lawsuit forced it to litigate whether the government deserves an accurate count of who can legally vote in our federal elections. The U.S. Constitution mandates a census every 10 years, which is used to determine the drawing of political boundaries, the allocation of seats in Congress and at the state and local level, and the annual distribution of about $700 billion in federal funding. Critics of the citizenship question say it might dissuade some immigrants and perhaps many citizens from being counted, with a disproportionate impact on Democratic-leaning states. The citizenship question has not appeared on the census since 1950. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Take the Field's mission is to inform baseball players that physical activity is nothing to be scared of, that a little bit of running can be fun.
Now, Rebecca, this obesity problem is nothing new.
Well, right. There is a culture of obesity in baseball that has been around for years. I mean, coaches even sub in healthy pinch runners instead of encouraging their overweight players to hustle, depriving them of the only cardiovascular exercise they might have a chance to get.
And a lot of these athletes have been playing baseball since they were kids.
Well, right. So they might have never learned any healthy habits.
Baseball is fine in moderation, but many of these men spend over 200 days a year playing it, and that adds up.
The program encourages players once an hour to take a 15-minute break from baseball to do something active, like go up and down some stairs, go for a walk, or play some basketball.
All right, well, thanks, Rebecca. If you're a baseball coach and you're worried about your players' health, go to takethefield.gov for a list of healthy activities and nutritious snacks. Coming up next, does America brains get worse hearing words correct?
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. On the Call to Freedom.
All right, that's right. We're back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It's time for the Crypto Hour. Brought to you by our wonderful sponsors over at Helium.com. That's Helium with an E.com. HELEUM.com. And go over there, do the Helium.com/CTF and get a great deal for being a listener to the Call to Freedom. Now, we wanted to start off. This is a coin I've actually been watching since November, October of last year. It's called Verge. It's another security coin. You guys know that that's my personal favorite thing when it comes to crypto is security coins. You know, the whole point of cryptocurrencies is that the banks and the feds and all these people are constantly trying to get at your personal information, which, you know, they just simply don't have a right to. And so if you want to make sure that you can protect that information, then you can't just use plain old Bitcoin anymore. You have to find other ways in order to, well, to keep your privacy private. That's why we advertise for people like CryptVisor. That's why we're big fans of Zencash, and why I personally am a fan of Verge. Now, this is from Forbes magazine, and it just came out today, about 3 hours ago. It says, mysterious world-changing deal makes Verge the new sexy crypto. And before you ask, no, you can't have any of mine. Verge is on the verge, or something. Nobody knows. But whatever it is, it has the cryptocurrency gamblers throwing money at what has now become a billion-dollar entity. The Verge XVG coin rose 66% on Tuesday, the biggest move of the top 50 traded cryptocurrencies. It all started with a message by one of its developers.
I mean, 3 whole pennies. So let's keep that in perspective.
Right, yeah. A message by one of its developers named Sunarok posted on YouTube wearing a black baseball hat and a hoodie, speaking from what looks like someone's living room. Sunarok jokingly thanks investors for the millions of dollars, adding, "I packed my bags." After the one-liner, the Verge developer talked about a partner. No one knows who the partner is. Some say it's Amazon. It's probably not. Others say GoDaddy. Verge is being quiet on it, but the coin is moving higher on the news. We're going to announce the name of the partner on April 16th with a global marketing campaign that you have never seen before, he said. And it's going to change crypto in a really good way. That date's now been pushed out to April 17th. Verge is billed as a cryptocurrency for people who love privacy, though one would assume that is most currently the point of cryptocurrency. Proceed as an improvement to the original blockchain system. The Verge coin, known by its ticker XVG, launched back in 2014 under the name Dogecoin Dark. It was rebranded in 2016. Verge is an open source software company with no real ownership. Development and marketing comes from the crypto community. It's with many who are looking for a 5-cent cryptocurrency to hit $1. A year ago, Verge was worth less than a grain of sand. According to players in this market, Verge is slated to announce this month Verge is slated to announce the announcement. Whoever wrote this needs to learn English grammar. Jesus Christ. According to players in the market, the announcement Verge is slated to announce later this month is all hype. I literally just had to add half that sentence because this guy did not write it that way. And if I read it the way that he wrote it, it would make no sense at all. Says there are other variables to consider, including the partner being a relatively known global company with high traffic websites in its portfolio. No one doubts Verge has a partner, but how long and how much cachet they bring to Verge, well, that's still a mystery. Anton Zopoleski, a CEO of crypto exchange Tradealyze, says Verge raises less money than companies like Filecoin, which does not have a working product yet. Verge does. I think they provide pretty remarkable technological solutions through their Wraith protocol, he says. The Wraith protocol allows users to switch between a public open blockchain and a private closed blockchain. If the Wraith protocol is turned on, for example, the transaction data is hidden on the blockchain. Maybe this will be the Swiss bank of blockchains. Or is it the fear of missing out on this coin so high over the last few days? But since yesterday's meteoric rise, Verge is back to tracking every other major currency and is in the gutter on Wednesday. No, it's not. What are you talking about? Meteoric rise in the gutter on Wednesday. Today is Wednesday. It went from 3 cents on Monday to just over 7 cents last night around midnight. And if my Coinomi wallet would just load instead of, there we go. And now it's at 6 cents today. Oh my God, it's crashed. You got to be kidding me. In the dumps.
Yeah, that's pretty bizarre because, I mean, it's definitely up. I mean, it's not up from where I bought it at, but it's up from Monday.
It's up from where I bought it at. It's like
it's way down from where I bought it.
Me and there's like
it's
me
so
and four
depressing.
other people that I know of that got in when the getting was good, so to speak. And everybody I know that's invested in Verge since then bought it at 11 cents or more per coin. And
Well, that's because you went around telling people to, and by then it was already, up there.
Because it was doing good. And if you just sold when it was at like 23 cents, then you'd have made a boatload of money. But I didn't sell at 23 cents. I held on to it.
I bought at 23.
I held on to it. So...
And I mean, how are you supposed to get it? It's not on Changelly now because, it moved. So that means they took it down.
I usually get it from Cryptopia. That's the best exchange price that I've found is Cryptopia. Yobit is wicked expensive. It's like it averages almost a penny more than, I guess, a market value. I almost said melt value. You can't tell I'm an old school silver bug, can you? Oh, Lord. But yeah, let's see here. I completely just tapped out on the story, even though I shouldn't have. It's easy to announce privacy solutions. It's quite another to survive and deliver on the promise of privacy, says Nolan Borrell, head of research at CoinDesk. Verge fell today that it was breached by hackers. Verge fell today that it was breached by hackers. Jesus Christ, where do these people learn how to write sentences? This is
Yale
Forbes.
happiness classes.
This is Forbes magazine. Oh my God. A, Verge was not hacked. B, the coin did not fall in any substantial way. C, English. Do you write it? Good God. All right, when we get back, we're going to continue talking about privacy coins and what they add to the crypto market. And give us a call. Have you bought some Verge? Are you a Verge investor? Let us know. 603-283-6160. You can hit us on Discord, lrn.discord.com, or you can hit us on lrn.fm on Skype. We'll be right back here on The Call to Freedom.
Should you be able to earn an honest living free from senseless government interference? The Institute for Justice thinks so. That's why we've spent years defending hard-working men and women from pointless government regulations. Nationwide, IJ has created opportunity by reducing government power, but there is still more work to be done. Visit our website today at ij.org. Let IJ take care of the government so you can take care of your business.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
I just heard the best sales pitch I've heard in a long time on an airplane. The flight attendant announced, "If you paid more than $75 for your round-trip ticket, you overpaid." This is brilliant because everybody on the flight paid more, and I was struck by how all the road warriors stopped typing and reading and working and looked up. The announcement invited us to apply for the airline's credit card, and the sign-up bonus, enough frequent flyer miles for a free round trip. Talk about turning lemons into lemonade. With some banks offering free credit cards, $75 is an outrage for an annual fee, but a bargain for airline tickets. For more tips on communicating more effectively, hit survivalspeech.com, where you can see how I got the CEO of another major airline to shower me with freebies. I'm Holland Cook.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
I turned myself into a pickle, Morty! Boom! Big reveal. I'm a pickle. What do you think about that? I turned myself into a pickle! I'm Pickle Rick! Welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? Yeah, I'd like to get a
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire, and the sun is shining outside on a wet road. It looks like the foggy, dreary Seattle-style weather that we've been looking at is finally starting to burn away, and the beautiful sun is starting to come out. Like, as you can see, like, my jacket's behind me, and I carry it with me just in case I need it. But I haven't, and, it's just in case I go home, it's close to dark, maybe it'll be a little cooler outside. But now that the sun's out, I have a pretty good feeling that it's going to be a pretty nice day when I leave here. So, but, since we're on the subject of privacy coins, keeping your digital information, your digital communications and stuff private is nearly impossible today. The government's always got a peering eye or a backdoor or a company that's willing to capitulate and give up your private information, or allow government to shut their servers down so that you can't even communicate at all. Well, that's where CryptVisor comes in. It's a decentralized communications application. And, you know what? What makes them different is if the feds come snooping around and try to shut their servers down, well, they don't have servers. And if they don't ask for any of your personal information, so if they come looking and say, hey, we've got a subpoena here, we want this personal information. Well, CryptVisor says, we don't take personal information. We don't have it. So if I were you, I would go over and check out CryptVisor and all their great options, including their CVPay crypto wallet and other advanced security features. You can check them out at cryptvisor.network. That's CryptVisor, CryptVisor, cryptvisor.network. So we've been talking about Verge, and they've got this big announcement that's coming out. There's been some what they call FUD around this, as the coin started to go up, there was a rumor that the Vertcoin developers had been hacked. That rumor is not true. The Wraith protocols, somehow they were able to mine 1 block per second, even though the protocols are written to mine 1 block every 30 seconds. So, like, basically, the thing that they claimed isn't even a feasible thing to claim to begin with. But it was claimed, and of course had a little bit of a effect on the coin's value, but not enough that like it's worth mentioning. I mean, they make a bigger deal out of it than I think it really is. If it goes from 3 cents to 7 cents and it settles at 6, it's pretty good, you know. Let's see what CoinMarketCap has to say.
I mean, it's not awful, but you know, that's how it is in cryptocurrencies. They go up and then they go back down a little bit, and people call it a crash, and they start jumping out of windows.
Yes.
I don't know why, but they do.
Just under 6, no, just over 6 cents, 0.0605.
It's like I only gained 50% today.
Yeah.
Hand me my gun. I have to end it now.
It went up 60%, and then they went down 15.9% to 6 cents. So they went up to 7 and down to 6. Oh no, the world is going.
The sky is falling, man.
Down. The sky is falling. You know, it's.
I mean, I guess for the people who bought it at 7 cents, yeah, they lost. What is that? About 15%.
Oh my God, we're all going to die. I mean, come on. Hello. These pennies.
But I bought it at its peak at 23 cents. I'm just chill out, people. It'll be okay.
Wasn't its peak, I don't think. I think the peak price was.
It was pretty close to it then.
34 cents, I think, is what it got all the way up to. The highest price Verge ever hit was, I don't know, let's see here.
I mean, Blackcoin nearly hit $1 and it's back down to 20 cents. I'm about to buy the crap out of that.
Yes, Verge hit 30 cents on December the 22nd at 7 a.m. And then immediately went back down to 25 cents. And 2 days later.
And then 2 weeks later was at 3 cents.
No, 2 weeks later was at 16 cents. No, 2 weeks was at. No, that's the 12. There we go. 16 cents. And then 2 weeks after that was down around a nickel.
I mean, it's still not the end of the world, though.
It was, 2 weeks after that, it was down to where it is now, 7 cents. So, but for me, it's more about, like, I don't really care if it's worth 7 cents or $70. Is it an effective tool? Do the Wraith protocols...
Well, I do, because that's not why I bought Verge.
...work effectively? Right? You didn't buy it because of the technology. You bought it because you thought you could make some money?
Exactly.
Okay.
I have Blackcoin because of the technology.
Oh, okay. See, I got Verge for the technology. I was interested in the technology. I was interested in the idea of the Wraith protocols being able to have on the books and off the books.
And Vertcoin, to be fair to, James and all the hard work they're doing. I have, Vert because I support them ideologically.
Yes, exactly. So this is the second call. I'm just going to read this. Go ahead and read this now. It says here, some concern have reached me from multiple channels that I think warrant some serious discussion. Reports of you burning bridges with activists and allies over philosophical disagreements. I read some of the public logs of these discussions, and I know that being abrasive is a part of your rebel persona, but these have risen to a level where I think you're harming the Muslims for Liberty brand. We've apparently already lost participants over this. I've discussed this with Hisham and Remy, who are copied here, and we agree it would be prudent for Muslims for Liberty to make a public statement. We need to come to some consensus about the tone and strategy of the organization's public face and internal structure. First and foremost, we want to know if you're okay. Your Facebook account has disappeared, preventing me from even seeing many of the relevant threads. Impulsive anger isn't generally how I think of you. Righteous indignation maybe, but tempered, not reckless. Anyway, we'll get back to that when we get back. We'll get back into...
Dude, that's brutal.
Yep. Well, you know, I said something. I didn't collectively virtue signal on command like I was supposed to. So somebody got offended, and now it would seem that the organization I founded is also going to embrace I get offended in Fields politics.
Free Talk Live.
It hasn't been unheard of for the police to insert an instigator. These are things they do, believe it or not. They'll have a plainclothes officer go into the protest and act as though he's one of the protesters, and then the plainclothes officer will start something with another one of the police.
Oh, come on. This sounds like a conspiracy theory now.
This is not a conspiracy theory. These are confirmed occurrences. Let's give the cops a benefit of the doubt and say it really was some instigator starting stuff with the cops. Does that mean that it's appropriate to flush every single person out of the park with rubber bullets, tear gas, and other sorts of offensive devices?
Doesn't seem like it to me.
Wouldn't it make more sense to stop the person who's instigating, to, put a stop to those specific individuals?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Toll House Morsels, helping you create special moments and memories your family will cherish forever. Visit us at tollhouse.com. You may bake for birthdays and holidays, but why stop there? Sweeten up the rest of the year by designating monthly dessert days. Treat your family to one of their favorites or surprise them with something new. Either way, you'll create a tradition everyone will love. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार के क्रिप्टो आवर को, जिसके प्रस्तुत करता है Helium.com.
Live from the Verticoin studio. This is the Call to Freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium. 47 here on LRN.FM. When you hear the faucet, be qualified to get some free coins. This is the Call to Freedom.
That's right. It's a Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in Keene, New Hampshire. And it is the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. You guys heard a little while ago, this is the second call for me to step down from my position at Muslims for Liberty because I said something a little too libertarian for folks, and some folks who've been hanging around with trigger-happy liberals are now triggered by the fact I said something too libertarian. Oh, goodness. That's all.
I mean, what did you even say?
I quit taking Adam Bates seriously like a month ago. And when you ask me a completely unserious question, I'm going to respond to you with stupidity and mockery. And he said, do you think it's okay to shoot your mailman? And my response was, well, I don't know. Did he just get home from shooting Afghan 5-year-olds last week?
Okay, so you made a perfectly valid rhetorical point.
But to them, and now to everyone else, what I actually did was say, we should murder anyone who disagrees with us, and I want to shoot my mailman.
Well, I mean, technically, the mailman is using force and violence against you.
But even you get that it's a rhetorical point. Right. Well, I don't know. You want a yes or no answer, but I'm not taking you seriously because you're not asking me a serious question. Do you think it's okay to kill the mailman? I'm sorry, yo. That's not a serious question. It's just not. It's not. And if you don't want to have a serious discussion with me, then I'm not going to have a serious discussion with you. Oh, well. And if you want to take what I say and basically my middle finger to you on Facebook and post it around and try to represent it that I'm saying something that you know damn good and well I'm not saying, well, hey, man, it's a free country, and if you think you need to tear me down to build yourself up, well, I think that says more about you than it does about me.
I mean, isn't he kind of a tool anyway?
He used to be a good libertarian. He has become a tool of the left. He got... Basically, Trump got elected, and now there's like this portion of the Libertarian Party that wants so much to not be like Trump that they have now also sworn off reason and logic and jumped in bed with the left. And everything is about emotion and, how this feels. And, yeah, you're right. I predicted that. Exactly.
I seem to recall arguing with him extensively about whether or not microaggressions were a real thing. And he was trying to tell me that they were.
Yeah. Exactly. This is the...
Was that him?
Yeah, I believe so.
Well, I mean, does that sound like something he would say?
Now, 2 years ago? No. Now? Yes. But that's what happened. Like, he started hanging out with the organizers of the Women's March, the Coochie Hat crowd. He started hanging out with them, and basically what happened was this guy that he doesn't like attacked a lefty, and rather than acknowledging that she's still ideologically opposed to us and not our ally, he just like scoops her up into the movement, into the community, and now she's unassailable. Now if she does something that's totally off the road, if she calls a fellow libertarian a Nazi without cause, he will join in on the thing. So,
So he fell in love with the double vagina magic.
But she's a married Arab attorney who lives lives like 8 hours from him. So I don't understand. And she hates white people. Like straight. She doesn't hate white people. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. And so do her allies. Because every point they ever make is built around color. Well, you're a white Muslim. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Well, as a white Muslim, you shouldn't do this. Why? Well, because Muslims of color might look at it and what? And not give their brother 70 excuses as they're instructed to in their holy book? Just assume the worst absolute possible assumption, or create something that doesn't even logically sound reasonable? Is that what I should expect? And Adam has embraced that worldview and mental debate style. So he doesn't want to have serious conversations. So I'm not going to have a serious conversation. When I read that back and forth, when I read that to Daryl laughed because he got that I was literally like making fun of Adam. And somehow that has continued to balloon into this, I'm possibly suicidal.
Welcome to libertarian drama.
Do I need someone to talk to? Is everything okay? Yes, man, everything's okay. I just got tired of every time I go on Facebook, somebody calling me a Nazi while I'm there. No matter what I'm talking about, no matter what the argument is, no matter what the subject matter is, someone randomly pokes their head in and goes, "Hey, aren't you that Nazi?" And I'm sorry, but after having my name dragged through the mud via social media by these people, I just don't find it an inviting place to be anymore. So I disabled my account. I mean, is that such a crazy idea? I don't like being called a Nazi by people who try to act like my friend. So I just don't go there anymore. You know, if I ate sushi from a Japanese restaurant and it gave me diarrhea, I would just stop going there. Well, I go to Facebook and it makes me mental, so I disabled my account.
Well, you know, Facebook, if there is a digital equivalent of diarrhea,
for real,
it would be Facebook.
Facebook is like digital RSV. It is. It's like,
and all of this ultimately
like
stemmed
vomiting
from
and diarrhea with a sore throat and hemorrhoids all at the same time.
That sounds more like Twitter to me, or Tumblr. Good God, Tumblr.
Right, because Twitter is like it's how stupid Facebook is, but in 160 characters or less. How can we be as dumb as we are on Facebook in 3 sentences? Hold my beer.
I totally get why Trump prefers it now.
Do what?
I said I totally get why Trump prefers it now.
Right. But yeah, it's that same thing, man. It's taking over the country. This feels first type of viewpoint.
Well, feels only.
Yeah.
I would say. I mean, there's nothing left over for reason and logic.
No.
You offended him.
I need to defend her because these bad people want to hurt her and want to say mean things about her that aren't true. Okay, well, this person over here said something that is true. How dare you attack her? Now you're on the side with the bad guys. No, the bad guys said things that weren't true. This is true. No, any attack against her is false because.
So who is this chick and how does she get involved in this?
It's Linda Sarsour and her little minions. Basically, I did this fundraiser for I tried to get her on the show the first 2 years we were on the air, so that she could, with a scholar. I was like, let's have you and me and an imam on the air, and we will discuss my views and your views. And I will say income taxes are forbidden under Islam, and to advocate for them is to advocate for oppression. And then you will say, no, it's not. And then the scholar will tell us which one is right. And she didn't want to do that. I wonder why. Maybe because they all tell her she's wrong every time she opens her mouth.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom, brought to you by Helium.com. Unasikiliza Crypto Hour inayohusu wito wa uhuru, imeletwa kwako na Helium.com.
Is a burning thing, and it makes a fiery ring, bound by wild desire. I fell into a ring of fire, 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 fire.
are back here on the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And Aria, you've got our next story for Crypto Hour, correct?
I do. Which one was it? The one about Venezuela?
Sure, that works. They both sounded good, so we've only got time for one.
Right, well, it seems there might actually be some utility to the Petro, which is Venezuela's state-issued cryptocurrency. It's their own Ripple, because they're using it to buy auto parts from Russia.
Ha 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 ha. No, seriously.
Yeah, well, it says here at Bitcoin.com that officials from Venezuela and Russia have agreed to expand their economic cooperation. The Bilateral Intergovernmental Commission met over the weekend in Venezuela's capital. Talks covered, the typical strategic partnership crap. The South American country revealed plans to assemble the Russian KAMAZ trucks. Caracas intends to pay for the auto parts in Petro, which was reported both in Russia and local Venezuelan media. The national cryptocurrency will be used to purchase components, tires, batteries, and spare parts, according to the Venezuelan Minister of Foreign Trade, Jose Mora.
Okay.
And that's essentially all there is to the story, but it's interesting to me that Russia is going to accept the cryptocurrency while they, had generally taken a stance against them.
Well, what are you saying? Are you saying that you think maybe Russia still has a soft spot for socialism and communism, so they're going to help facilitate?
Well, we know they like state currencies.
They're going to help facilitate a bailout of Venezuela, like they used to protect and stand for other communist and socialist regimes through the 80s and 90s. This is what Russia does. It's what they do.
That's a good point.
They
Thank you.
bail it
And now
out.
they're just doing it with cryptocurrency.
Yeah. This is it's 1984 or 82. Yeah, I should say 82 because 84 has other implications. It's 1982 in America, and Venezuela is Cuba. Venezuela is Chile. Venezuela is pick a country that switched to communism that Russia rushed in when the bread line started and said, here's some money, so nobody knows how bad things are. It's a Western capitalist plot.
I'm not sure how much of a bailout it really is. Apparently, Venezuela raised $735 million USD with the ICO of the Petro.
Really happen, or is it like before where they were like, so we raised all this money? Yeah, the claim. The claim is that they raised that much, but when you look at the wallets, it's not so much. Not really what happened. So that's what I'm saying is, did they really raise money, or is this really basically kind of a bailout? We'll sell you engine parts, and then you can sell those for money and use that to fund your government for a couple weeks. Oh, my God. So really, that's it?
I mean, yeah, there wasn't much substance to the article beyond that.
Okay, well, then
it goes on to talk about another country that may be, the crypto ruble may be in the works.
So Russia making a cryptocurrency of its own? Or you mean
possibly
like Putin coin? Because we already have Putin coins.
No, it sounds like this would be a state-sanctioned cryptocurrency made by Russia.
A state-sanctioned cryptocurrency made by Russia. Yeah. Nothing could possibly go wrong there. Let's give. I mean, I've literally been watching.
And then their own link to the article. Hold on, because that's not true.
Okay.
Their own link to the article where they talk about, how there might be an upcoming ruble coin is an article from their own site about how the crypto ruble is not possible.
Okay.
So Bitcoin.com seems to have a problem referencing.
Oh, I know. They do that to me. They drive me crazy with that stuff, man. I've gotten to where I just don't really go there anymore. I go to like Cointelegraph or I go to other sources because news.bitcoin.com has just they've just gotten really bad about stuff like they'll say Russia's going to make its own crypto, and then you click on the link, and the link takes you to a story of Russia saying there's no way possible to make our own crypto. We're not even going to try. So it's like,
yeah, and that's literally what just happened.
Yeah, or there'll be like yesterday. Remember, the link was like a man thrown in jail for selling Bitcoin. That's not what happened, man. The guy didn't go to prison for selling Bitcoin. The guy went to prison for trading Bitcoin to a guy he knew was going to use it to facilitate heroin deals, who openly stated he was going to use it for dealing heroin in a horrible fake Russian accent. But that doesn't get clicks among the crypto community. Man goes to jail for selling Bitcoin. That gets clicks. But I mean, if you're going to turn into a clickbait website, I mean, like, I can go elsewhere and get, news headlines that don't make me want to read them, so that I only open them up to find out that no, that's not what happened at all. They've become clickbait.
When they're not doing that, they're intentionally confusing people by calling Bitcoin Core, or just Core.
Right. Well, I mean, it's no mystery or secret. That's Roger's website, and Roger's a big supporter of Bitcoin Cash. So, I mean, that's not a secret or anything. It's not.
No, but I mean, as Bitcoin.com, they should do more to facilitate people's introductions into Bitcoin instead of trying to write articles that purposely confuse them.
Right.
And use jargon that the average person doesn't understand.
Have you ever read some of the emails that they get at Bitcoin.com? Like their funniest customer support emails, where people literally think that Bitcoin.com is where Bitcoin comes from. And that if someone scams you, you can just go to Bitcoin.com, and Bitcoin.com can find your Bitcoin and get it back for you.
Where can I find these?
There's a website somewhere that's got them up.
It reminds me of the Pirate Bay's.
I was trying to send Roger a message through their website in order to invite him on the show long time ago, when he was on the show 6 months ago, and I had to go through there's 7 different prompts before you actually send the message, where it's asking you you do realize and understand that Bitcoin.com does not have access to your Bitcoin, that the blockchain is a decentralized chain, it's a public ledger, that you have your wallet. We cannot get you your password. No, we cannot get you your private keys. No, we cannot get your money back if you get scammed. And there's 7 different prompts where it asks you to read, you acknowledge and understand. Do you still want to ask us a question? Okay. And then another one pops up, and it's 7 prompts you have to go through to get to the thing, to type your thing out that says, "Hey, Roger, I wanted to have you on the show next week. Are you busy, or you have a moment for us, or not?" It was a 20-minute ordeal to send a message. So yes, people are that dumb.
Bad. Not surprising.
People are that dumb. They really are.
Well, I don't think it's dumb. They're just ignorant and uninformed. They don't understand how it works. They understand money in terms of the U.S. dollar, where if they are scammed out of something, they can just contact the government or their bank.
The bank, yeah.
Or Visa.
If somebody takes money, if you get scammed with your bank account, you just contact the bank, and the bank usually can fix it for you. But see, that's just it, though, is when you're dealing with cryptocurrencies, you are the bank. So that means unless you have the computing power to go track those coins down and break the cryptography and get your coins back, no one else does either, because you're your own bank. That's the beauty of crypto, is not having to wait for days or weeks for transactions to be sent thousands of miles. All right, Crypto Hour is over. We've got another one in the books. We'll be back. We got lots of stories coming up. Turns out trade war with China has made farmers' wares worth less money. We'll find out why when we get back.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, April 4th, 2018.
Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,341 per ounce.
Zencash is trading at $21, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,330. Antiwar.com reports a little over a week ago a car bombing killed 20 civilians outside a sports stadium in Lashkar Gah. This is an unfortunately common thing to happen in Afghanistan, but appears to have started something very unusual: peace protests. 2 Helmand districts, along with multiple Afghan cities, are reporting hundreds of demonstrators holding sit-ins at several sites, calling for an immediate ceasefire and peace talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban. Some of the early protesters organized a hunger strike amongst themselves, saying they won't eat until there's at least 2 days of ceasefire. It's not clear how big a portion of the demonstrators are hunger strikers, but there seems to be a number of them in the Helmand province. The Taliban has acknowledged the peace protest already, issuing an initial statement saying that protesting the Taliban would not do any good and demonstrators should instead protest at U.S. bases, since it's the U.S. that has been keeping the war going. The U.S. invaded Afghanistan in late 2001. While the Taliban has expressed openness to peace talks in recent months, the U.S. has said they are no longer willing to talk at this time.
For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports the California Supreme Court on Monday upheld a controversial state law that allows law enforcement officers to take DNA from anyone who's arrested or charged with a felony. In a 4-3 vote, the court ruled in favor of the law, which has allowed California law enforcement officials to create a DNA database of tens of thousands of people who were arrested but never charged or convicted. The law was challenged by privacy advocates, including the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which argued the state's constitution prohibits the collection of DNA from arrestees because of the severe impact DNA collection has on our right to privacy. But the case had several other components, and Justice Leandra R. Kruger, who voted to let the law stand, said the DNA collection could still be challenged. The 3 judges who voted to strike down the law said the case was an opportunity to get rid of a program that allows the state to retain and search a DNA database full of people who were never convicted of a crime.
Zencash is the world's first private, distributed, and reliable platform for communications, transactions, and publishing. Zencash has the ability to use both transparent and shielded transactions, with shielded transactions using zero-knowledge proofs. Zencash features global governance with inclusive decision-making, reliable funding for continuous improvements, and documentation and wallets in many languages that are available for Linux, Mac, Windows, and Android devices. Learn more at zensystem.io. That's zensystem.io.
Reuters reports a group of U.S. states and cities sued the Trump administration to stop it from asking people filling out the 2020 census form whether they are U.S. citizens. The lawsuit, filed by 17 states, Washington, D.C., and 6 additional cities, challenged what they called last week's unconstitutional and arbitrary decision by the Department of Commerce, which oversees the Census Bureau, to add the citizenship question. It was also a fresh challenge to what New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman, at a press conference announcing the lawsuit, called the administration's anti-immigrant animus. All of the states bringing the case have Democratic attorneys general. They were joined by New York City, Chicago, Philadelphia, San Francisco, Seattle, and Providence, all of which have Democratic mayors, and the U.S. Conference of Mayors also joined the lawsuit. Another state, California, filed a similar lawsuit last week. When asked for a comment, a DOJ spokeswoman referred to Attorney General Jeff Sessions' April 2nd statement lamenting how California's meritless lawsuit forced it to litigate whether the government deserves an accurate count of who can legally vote in our federal elections. The U.S. Constitution mandates a census every 10 years, which is used to determine the drawing of political boundaries, the allocation of seats in Congress and at the state and local level, and the annual distribution of about $700 billion in federal funding. Critics of the citizenship question say it might dissuade some immigrants and perhaps many citizens from being counted, with a disproportionate impact on Democratic-leaning states. The citizenship question has not appeared on the census since 1950. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
From the admission of Ant Colony 000082567 KLN 00067X into the Union in 1897, to the day in 1817 when embarrassed construction workers realized they put the Erie Canal in the wrong place. The Onion looks back at This Week in History. On August 5, 1962, Nelson Mandela was jailed until 1990, becoming fully rehabilitated through the South African penal system, and thanks to the services provided to him while imprisoned, emerged from jail a successful politician and internationally revered symbol of peace. Mandela's record of overcoming hardships and moving South Africa beyond its formidable racial struggles is a lasting testament to South Africa's correctional facilities, and prove that the penal system's small cells, demeaning work duties, and minimal rations are exactly the tools needed for a prisoner to truly become a reformed citizen.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It's the final hour of our live broadcast here this Wednesday afternoon. On your drive home, you might be listening in on TuneIn or radio or internet or Twitch. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. We're going to be talking about some stories that Aria and I find particularly interesting today. One of them, trade wars. Oof! Wow, that just made my phone freak out. Trade wars. It would be one of my favorite subjects of the day. It says here that this is from The Hill, the same website that just a moment ago was arguing why it's a terrible idea to bring troops home from Syria and Iraq, and how we should stay there and bomb those countries indefinitely to...
So I'm guessing they're also in favor of tariffs?
Well, no, actually. This says the impact of the Chinese trade war, well, what American farmers produce is suddenly worth less money. Talking is over. Now we're fighting a real trade war. And here on my farm in Iowa, I'm in the front line.
Yeah, but isn't that good for consumers?
Well,
I like cheaper food.
Well, I do too, but not if getting cheaper food means that the farms can't, because most farms, unless it's a CAFO, operate at a loss without subsidies. Right. The government subsidies are the only thing that keep them from operating at a loss. So but all that's going to happen is Trump creates a trade war, prices across the board for American goods drop, government has to give farmers more subsidies for them to even be able to live. So he's not helping anything. It's a big shell game. He takes the tariff, and then the tariff goes to the farmer to pay for the loss in revenue, basically. And they probably aren't even going to bring enough money in tariffs to make up for all the extra subsidies that they're going to have to pay out after they destroy these farms through this trade war.
Right, but that's something that has to come into balance naturally through free market principles and mechanisms. I mean, that's not something we can just keep tweaking the dial zone and have it magically work out.
What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to ride out a really rough patch to let the market, but nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to get rid of the rough patch now. Just do whatever you can to put throw a blanket over the vomit, throw some newspaper over the poop, and that's how we clean it up. We just act like it's not there. and just move forward. But what happens is after you throw newspaper over the poop so many times, the floor becomes nothing but newspaper and poop. And when you finally get to the point that you're like, wow, I really need to clean this up, this is a health hazard, you have a much, much bigger mess on your hand than the original one pile of dog poop. Because now not only do you have 500 piles of dog poop, you have 500 piles of dog poop that are now dog poop paper mache that is dried to your floor over the course of the God knows how many days, weeks, or years that it took for you to get to the point that you decided to actually do something about the problem instead of throwing a piece of newspaper over the poop.
That reminds me of that Ron White skit. The whole time you said that was all I was thinking about.
Coupons.
And his little Garth Brooks mini concerts.
Coupons. Anyway, let's see here. This week's price of a hog dropped from $12 for every pig I sell down to this morning. Soybeans are down 40 cents a bushel. The price of a hog dropped $12 per hog, not down to $12, because my brain was like, where are you selling hogs? This morning, soybeans are down 40 cents a bushel, a $1.7 billion loss to the value of U.S. soybeans. And if I want to make a new capital purchase of machinery or grain bins, anything made with steel or aluminum, I'll have to pay more than I would before. For years, we've engaged in a war of words with China over trade. American officials have complained about everything from China's currency manipulation and subsidized industries to a trade deficit that hit a record high in 2017. The difference between what Americans brought from China and what Chinese bought from the U.S. reached $375 billion last year.
Yeah, but I mean, why does that even matter? I mean, I get that it's a number on a sheet of paper, but why does it matter whether we bought more or sold more? And who we bought and sold it to?
True. For years, last month, Trump fired a salvo announcing a new tariffs of 25% on imported steel, 10% on imported aluminum. China retaliated a few days ago with a long list of new tariffs affecting $50 billion of American trade products. Many fruits, nuts, for example, will face a 15% tax. So will a variety of stainless steel piping. China also slapped a 25% tax on pork products, a category that affects me directly because I raise hogs. We try to sell every part of these animals from the meat to the offal. Even before the trade war erupted, prices weren't very good. They've now dropped to the lowest price seen since 2003. You know how much prices, and I'm going to interject here. You know how much prices have gone up on everything around the country since 2003. All right, now imagine your income just dropped 25% today. Are you a happy camper? Are you happy with your Trump vote? Middle America, farmers of America, are you happy with your Trump vote? Did he stand up for you, little guy? Did he? He did. He did. He stood up for you, little guy. Little guy, he did. Oh, wait. No, he didn't. He's going to put your family in the poorhouse if he doesn't create a situation where he has to raise taxes across the board in order to subsidize you and your family to keep you from starving to death so that you can feed the rest of us. Good job. But he hates the right people, and he's going to build you a wall.
I mean, that was like the perfect summary of, just Trump in general.
He hates the right people, and he's going to build you a wall.
It's more circular reasoning, though. I mean, we're going to put tariffs on China, they're going to put tariffs on us, and we're going to use the tariffs that we get from them to reimburse our farmers who are suffering from the retaliatory tariffs that China put on us.
China shot back on Wednesday. Another 100. Trump administration responded to those on Tuesday with 1,300 new tariffs on Chinese products, including televisions, chemicals, and machinery. They're also worth about $50 billion, a tit-for-tat move that aims to match China's latest round. China then shot back on Wednesday, adding tariffs to more than 100 U.S. products, including cars and planes. This round affects me too. The Chinese imposed the announced tariff of 25% on soybeans, another major product on my farm. It will lower my price to $2.50 a bushel. China isn't the only market for my pork and soybeans. Reducing our access to this important destination, however, has global repercussions. The bottom line is that what I produce is suddenly worth less money. My competitors in Argentina and Brazil must be celebrating their good luck. What will tomorrow bring? Nobody knows. Today, however, today is bad enough. My farm business is now under siege, held hostage by a trade war that my neighbors and I never wanted. Well, then maybe you shouldn't have voted for the idiot who promised one to go along with that wall. See, if you were more interested in...
Didn't Trump promise tariffs through the entire campaign?
He did, but he also promised a wall, and he promised to keep out the Muslims, and he promised to keep out the Mexicans, and you know as well as I do, Middle America hates Muslims and Mexicans more than they hate tariffs. Well, that is until they see
how much they're like starving to death
to their checking accounts. Who wants to take bets on whether or not Trump gets reelected in 2020 on I hate Muslims, I hate Mexicans again?
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at SurvivorMax.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in Keene, New Hampshire. Are you new to the crypto industry? Have you not been around that long? You don't want to have to spend your whole day reading candle graphs and white papers. Hell, you probably don't even know what those are. But you still want to get bought into the cryptocurrency game? Well, let me introduce you to Helium.com. It's a savings accelerator, and it's powered by Uphold.com. And they've developed a bot whereby they just, it watches the values of regular fiat currencies and cryptos simultaneously. Then it moves your money when the timing is just right. So you just charge up your account using a bank card or your digital wallet, and then you set it and forget it. It's completely automatic, like the cryptocurrency, like the crock pot of cryptocurrency, rather. Helium, it allows your money to move you. So go on over to helium.com. That's HELEUM.com/CTF and get a great deal as a thank you for being a Call to Freedom listener. So we're covering the story right now about China and the trade war that Trump has started with them, and how now, tit for tat, back and forth, cars are going to be more expensive. Your Walkman's going to be more expensive. Your Xbox is going to be more expensive. Your video game is going to be more expensive. Everything.
Well, a lot of that's made in Japan.
That we get from China is going to be more expensive, and everything China gets from us, we will no longer get paid as much for. So we feed China. America does a lot to feed China. And now anything that we do to feed China will now get American farmers 25% less, basically, across the board. So here's to you, American farm worker who voted for Trump. Are you winning yet? Did he make America great? Oh, what's that? You don't understand basic economics any more than the left does. Oh, well, let this be a basic economics lesson to you. Maybe you should have paid attention that half credit you got your senior year. It says, going back here to the article, my hope is that the president will make good on the promise that he's a master negotiator. Perhaps he'll bargain. See? I knew it. I knew Trumpkin moron farmer folks wouldn't be able to just say, Trump's screwing us, we shouldn't stand behind him. No, here it comes. But he's the master negotiator, and he'll bargain his way out of this mess.
He's doing a great job so far.
Winning. Many of those tariffs, well, they haven't gone into effect yet, but they've already shaken markets, and those have taken an economic toll. But they are threats rather than realities. Perhaps a round of productive bargaining will sweep them away. But I'm troubled by the possibility that the opposite could happen. The trade war could escalate. More tariffs, continuing to disrupt the flow of goods and services between the U.S. and China, driving down my farm's income even further. So you notice this, right? Like, it's personalized. While Trump was targeting the Hispanic family over there and deporting a father of 3 who's lived here since he was 2 and just doesn't have permission papers and didn't self-deport when he turned 18, breaking up their family, you can cheer that on TV. Dropping bombs on Afghan hospitals, you can cast a blind eye to that. Shutting down immigration for refugees fleeing war zones, trapping people in places for them to be murdered and butchered by oppressive governments and terrorists that are fighting over the opportunity of who gets to rule them. That you can stomach. That is okay. But here, I'm troubled by the possibility because this is driving down my farm's income. My farm. Your farm. You arrogant, I wish I could formulate words that I'm allowed to say on the air right now to describe how I feel about people that are like this. This mindset permeates our society. It's okay for those people to suffer. I can cheer their suffering, but oh wait, I'm only going to make 75 cents instead of $1 off that candy bar I sold. Now I'm worried about this. Now, I'm not going to grow a heart or a conscience or the ability to feel empathy or sympathy for the people that government target who are not me. But I'm going to write a meandering article demanding that government do everything it can to make sure my pocket has the most money in it while we deport fathers and tear apart families.
Yeah, I mean, he's appealing to people's sympathies while he has none for the other people that Trump affects. And that's disgusting.
Exactly.
He's like, I want everybody to feel sorry for me.
Feel sorry for me because I'm making less money, but not the other people that Trump's policies affect in negative ways that aren't making money. Or, well, what about the family who had a father who was in the home and 3 kids, and now he's in Mexico? That's family values right there, right? Good old Bible-thumping American values. I mean, give me a break, folks. Says NAFTA. Okay, of course. And NAFTA is the worst because now Mexicans are making money. We're in what could be the final stages of negotiating America's first important trade agreement, and it's still possible for the whole thing to collapse. I don't want to contemplate the possibility. If we quit NAFTA,
Countries should not be negotiating trade agreements. Companies should be.
If we quit NAFTA, the loss will devastate all of American agriculture, no matter what happens in our trade war with China. For a while, I'm optimistic about the future of farming. Although commodity prices have been low, things are looking up as tax reform led to a temporary boom in the stock market. The regulatory dangers of recent years haven't vanished, and new technological advances continue to fuel innovation.
Well, I mean, if he wants more money, all he has to do is start keeping the food and refuse to sell it to people at those prices. It's really not that hard. I mean, he's got the food. We die without it. If he wants $1,000 for that pig, then we will pay him $1,000 for that pig, because the alternative is starving to death or raising the food ourselves.
For real. Exactly. Says he ends with...
So he needs to stop acting powerless like the stupid college kids.
This guy's the vice chairman of and a board member. So he's the vice chairman and a board member of the Global Farmer Network, which is an organization that begs for government favor for farmers. Yeah, I said it. Did that rustle your jimmies a little bit? You can get over it, because it's the truth. You know, they're a group that goes out and begs government for favors with your money. That's who they are. Let's just call it what it is. Do you have an opinion on the subject, on subsidies or trade wars? Give us a call, 603-283-6160. If you don't, we're going to be moving on to Trump building a wall in Mexico.
A dead iPod is remembered as expensive. It's the Onion Radio News. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Despite heroic efforts at resuscitation, a third-generation 30-gigabyte iPod, serial number AP356372, was pronounced dead early this morning at the age of 2. The iPod's closest companion, Sarah Zartman, says she'll never forget the great music it used to play, nor will she forget the nearly $500 price tag.
I'll remember those 3,500 songs as long as I live. That iPod was convenient, portable, and really pricey.
Zartman added that had she known the iPod's lithium-ion battery would have such a short lifespan, she might have spent more time listening to it. AP356372 is survived by a BlackBerry. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do You think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And I'm telling you what, man, having a like a 2-in-1 like I have at home, like a touchscreen laptop, using a regular computer, man, really screws with your head. Because I'm all the time over here like, wait, never mind. Let me use the mouse. Mouse. If you're watching on Twitch, that's what I do. When you see me reach like I'm going to grab the monitor, what I'm doing is my brain has turned off and forgotten for half a second that this is a normal monitor, and I'm about to touch the touch screen to make this the window behind the current window come forward. And then you'll see me. I'll stop and then I'll go with the other hand and grab the mouse. Like, yep, dummy. That's how this thing works. So. That's what I'm doing. I'm not like having a seizure or reaching for spots and seeing things. I'm just retarded. So I can't remember from hour to hour that this isn't a touchscreen in front of me. Well, you know what, guys? I've heard over and over again. What was the story when Trump got elected? I'm gonna build a wall, and I'm gonna make Mexico pay for it. You remember that, Aria?
I remember the banana tariff.
Well, we've got someone at the Hill that seems to think she has come up with a way that Trump can build the wall today and make Mexico pay for it.
So what is this brilliant, incredible insight that the greatest mind of our generation has conceived?
Says, while a caravan of some 1,200 Central American migrants trek toward U.S. ports of entry, Congress continues to block Donald Trump's efforts to build his long-promised wall along the southern border. On page 269 of the 2,232-page spending bill that Congress introduced and passed in just under 48 hours last month, construction efforts along the border are limited to repairing the existing fence, building vehicle barriers that don't block pedestrians, and constructing small portions of pedestrian fencing, and spending on unmanned aerial drones, which the Department of Homeland Security already deemed completely ineffective at border control. Congress also blatantly blocks using any of the $1.6 billion of border funding in the omnibus for the wall or for prototypes that Trump has been testing. So what, if anything, can Trump do to build the wall? Existing law provides 3 clear options. The first is Section 102 of the Illegal Immigration Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act, a law which Congress passed in 1996 and has subsequently amended many times. The law codified here. The law gives DHS a clear mandate to construct reinforced fencing along at least 700 miles of the 1,933-mile land border with Mexico. So that means Bill Clinton, the Messiah himself signed a bill calling for 700 miles of border wall. Take that.
No. Remember Hillary? It wasn't a wall. It was reinforced fencing.
Yeah. Specifically the IIRIA, blah, 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 blah. It's easier to say the whole thing. Good Lord. Illegal Immigrant Reform and Immigrant Responsibility Act requires barriers to be built in area of, quote, high illegal entry to the United States and grants the Secretary of Homeland Security the ability to waive all legal requirements that may impede this construction. According to one expert analysis, nothing in current statute would appear to bar DHS from installing hundreds of miles of additional physical barriers, even beyond the 700 miles required by law. So why hasn't DHS simply done this already? Well, it's a matter of prioritization and of funding. The law provides such sums as may be necessary to be, quote, available until expended. And it's unclear if DHS has the funding capacity to take on such massive construction projects, and to do so would require serious reshuffling of current DHS spending priorities. I mean,
and we can't build a freaking bridge. How are we going to build a wall that actually works?
How do you pay to go into Muslim communities and find the one 16-year-old with Asperger's syndrome and convince him to do a fake bombing? I mean, where's the money for that if you're building a wall? This leads to Trump's second option, right? Which he's widely touted as, quote, the military option. In recent weeks, he suggested that part of the $700 billion which Congress appropriated to the Department of Defense be put toward building a wall. Pundits have widely called this option into question, speculating that Congress would have to approve such reprogramming, that is, using funds for the purpose other than those explicitly laid out in statute. It is true that Congress jealously guards its power of the purse. It's also true that the Anti-Deficiency Act prohibits the use of federal lands for anything other than what Congress specifically appropriates. However, the text of Congress's recently passed spending bill does give the president flexibility for a small amount of funding. When it comes to new military construction in particular, Section 807.4 expressly allows funding for those deemed, quote, in the interest of national security, a case that would not be difficult to make given that Mexico's drug cartels are fueling the opioid trade. I'm calling BS on that
No,
one.
that's the CIA in Afghanistan. That's different.
And Big Pharma
racist
here.
thing.
And played a role in the murder of 29,000 Mexicans last year. Moreover, the section...
That was the CIA too, wasn't it?
Well, both, I would have to say. Moreover, the section does not require that those funds be approved by Congress. It merely requires that the Defense Committee receive, quote, prior notification before they are used. Finally, Trump could take a page out of the Obama playbook and fund the border wall using a trade vehicle, specifically the implementing legislation for renegotiating North American Free Trade Agreement, the Fast Track Law, which governs consideration of trade agreements, contains language allowing the president to include provisions which he deems, quote, strictly necessary or appropriate to the respective trade agreement. This is the same broad language that President Obama used to add trade adjustment assistance to the Korea Free Trade Agreement, and similar provisions were included in the original NAFTA legislation. Under this line of reasoning, Trump could include wall funding in a renegotiated NAFTA, arguing that a secure border is critical to the enforcement of a cross-border trade agreement with Mexico. Even better, he could use that as a way to require Mexico to pay for it. If the Republican Congress continues to block the president from accomplishing one of his signature campaign priorities, Trump should turn to other areas of existing law. The best option, however, would be for Republicans in Congress to simply do their job. Trump won, in part, because of his promise to reform the immigration system. Reforms many support. If Congress wants to have a say in what those reforms should be, they should actively participate in the debate.
I don't think he knows how constitutional government works.
Obstinance is one policy choice, certainly, but it's a far cry from actually governing. So this is the Hill. So far today, they've argued how the Trump administration, how awful it is to bring troops home from Syria and Iraq, and how Trump can get the wall built, getting Mexico to pay for it. And they're supposed to be like a left-leaning publication. Yeah. Welcome to the new left. Welcome to the new left. Where Trump is so far out there that he is pulling the left further to the right. I mean, not that they weren't already further to the right with all their excuses for the dropping of 20,000 plus tons of bombs on Muslim countries a year under the great Messiah Obama.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit shiresociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at shiresociety.com. That's shiresociety.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is the final hour of today's Wednesday night broadcast. And we've been talking about Trump's trade war and Trump's wall. And, well, it turns out somebody thinks they've figured out a way that we can actually have the wall and make Mexico pay for it. And the way that we'll do that is to renegotiate a trade agreement, forcing them, saying, you know what, if you don't pay for the wall, we won't trade with you.
Well, I'm sure that'll make the starving farmer happy, and that will put more money in his wallet.
Well, he just said if we go to war, we end up in a trade war with Mexico, farmers in America are done.
Just to clarify, this is a different article from the guy who was complaining about the China trade war,
yes.
right?
Same media source, different article,
Right.
different writer. But again, these are supposed to be left, like the Hill. I thought the Hill was
Yeah,
left.
I actually just Googled them because I thought they were, right-leaning. But according to Media Bias Fact Checked, they are left-center.
Left center. Yeah, I'm
And that's
gonna
scary.
say left center. But yeah, this is the left.
I mean, they're hard right from what you're
From what I'm
describing.
reading. Yeah. What I just read is a hard right position. You now have liberals arguing for positions that you would have heard from George W. Bush or Scooter Libby or Karl Rove in the early 2000s. I'm seriously. This is a turn of the 21st century Republican Party that you're hearing, and it's supposed to be the left. This is scary to me for American politics to be skewing that far. And here's my question: is it a reactionary thing? Are members of the left skewing to the right because the hard left is so kooky now?
Probably. I mean, they are really kooky. I mean, vagina
Very
hats and stuff. I mean, they're out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now we've got one more thing I wanted to cover here, and this is it's pretty short. I found it again. It's another it's government, and sometimes government is so evil that you're just like, really, wow. This says basically the U.S. military took more than 4 years to process a Freedom of Information Act requesting a copy of the Guantanamo Guidelines for censoring prison library material, and the censored those guidelines when it processed the request.
So what did they actually give us that wasn't, censored?
The paperwork the military released appeared to leave 3 pages of information on the prison's procedures for handling the Quran. It left out 3 pages. Miami Herald sought the November 27th, 2013, and December 10th of 2013, an FOIA request. The Southern Command apparently released the document with redactions on March 21st, but didn't put it in the mail for 5 more days. It arrived in the Herald's newsroom, which is next door to Southcom, on Tuesday. Southcom said in its response that the information was blocked because its release, quote, would disclose techniques and procedures for law enforcement investigations or prosecutions, or would disclose guidelines for law enforcement investigations or prosecutions if such disclosure could reasonably be expected to risk circumvention of law. Wait, what? How does a book policy possibly disclose techniques and procedure for law enforcement? Or
they might get a copy of The Republic by Plato and get, some terrible ideas in their heads about self-governance.
Well, no, what it says here is they tell you what was redacted. 3 pages on what the military's policy is for handling the Quran. So what about handling the Quran in their policy could somehow disclose guidelines for law enforcement investigations or prosecutions or risk circumventing the law? It doesn't make logic. Like, the explanation makes no logical sense for what they kept, or at least what they say they kept. Well, we're just censoring the part about how we handle the Quran. Okay, well, what on God's green earth does that have to do with what you say here as to why you censored it? How could your handling of a holy book somehow compromise your investigation or prosecution? Explain that. Like, that doesn't make sense. And why doesn't anyone ask that question? Like, how? How does that happen? How does this affect you? Like, you say it does this. Well, how does it do that? Because it makes no sense.
My guess would be that, they're brown and they're receiving a Quran, so they're guilty of terrorism. And that's how they compile the case.
Are they planting bugs in the spines of the Qurans, and so they can't tell you? I mean, I'm trying to think. My brain is like, okay, how could this possibly get in the way? Like, telling people how the military in Guantanamo handles a holy book. How could that jeopardize an investigation or prevent it altogether? I mean, all I can think of is they're putting bugs in the Qurans. But how would people at Guantanamo find that out? Do they have access to
That's a good question.
Well, we can't tell you how we handle this because it could impede an investigation. The prisoners who have no access to the outside world could somehow magically find out that we're bugging the Qurans in their rooms. They spend their day in like an 8x8 concrete box with no newspaper and no internet. But somehow, they're going to find out. It says, let's see here. Guantanamo is a law of war detention site run by the Pentagon. What was left unclear was the U.S. military's law enforcement or prosecution function related to the detainee library, which circulates books among 26 of the prison's 41 detainees. Of those 26, only 2 have been convicted of crimes. Former CIA captives at the clandestine Camp 7 prison, including those accused of plotting the 9/11 attacks, don't have privileges at the main library, but can draw from a different secret collection. What? We can't tell you what books we let the 9/11 hijackers read because that would totally impede our investigation into 9/11 if we let you know what books we allow them to read. What? I mean, I swear to God, the government
There
just
isn't
thinks
much of this that makes sense.
It's like the government thinks that we are so stupid that the public, and they're right, really, for the most part, that the public is so stupid that they can just throw together some word salad as to like why they didn't do something. And the American public will go, yeah, that's okay. That's reasonable. Sure. That makes sense. Totally.
Well, I mean, we're lucky they just didn't release a sheet of paper to us that said national security reasons and leave it at that.
Right? No. It's like when I told you guys about that sheriff in Blount County that was like, look, during the government shut, you know what? The people of Blount County want to pool their money together, and the county wants to buy the Cades Cove attraction. Remember that guy?
No.
Well, he went to the sheriff of Blount County and said, I need you to cut your budget by 12% and bring me the paperwork to the city council so we can approve the new budget. And when the sheriff came in with his new budget, it was a single piece of paper with the word no written on it. And he handed that to the city council and left. And as he came in, there were a line of 5 armed police officers that came in behind him. And they stood in the room with their arms folded, and he presented the no and then left. And it was never asked for the sheriff's office to cut their budget again. So we'll be back tomorrow. Don't go anywhere, though. Free Talk Live's coming up next.
You know how annoying it is when someone keeps stopping mid-sentence as though he or she were asking you a series of questions? Avoid doing that. It sounds unnervingly tentative, and it imposes upon the listener to help you complete the thought. And if you're a job seeker, this alone could be a deal killer. An effective communicator sounds more confident. Complete the thought. Avoid making the listener impatient. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. Cutting through the clutter rather than blending into the blah, blah, blah will help you connect better no matter what the conversation. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook. Survivalspeech.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, April 4th, 2018.
Silver is trading at $16.61 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,341 per ounce.
Zencash is trading at $21, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,330. Antiwar.com reports a little over a week ago a car bombing killed 20 civilians outside a sports stadium in Lashkar Gah. This is an unfortunately common thing to happen in Afghanistan, but appears to have started something very unusual. Peace protests. 2 Helmand districts, along with multiple Afghan cities, are reporting hundreds of demonstrators holding sit-ins at several sites, calling for an immediate ceasefire and peace talks between the Afghan government and the Taliban. Some of the early protesters organized a hunger strike amongst themselves, saying they won't eat until there's at least 2 days of ceasefire. It's not clear how big a portion of the demonstrators are hunger strikers, but there seems to be a number of them in the Helmand province. The Taliban has acknowledged the peace protest already, issuing an initial statement saying that protesting the Taliban would not do any good and demonstrators should instead protest at U.S. bases, since it's the U.S. that has been keeping the war going. The U.S. invaded Afghanistan in late 2001. While the Taliban has expressed openness to peace talks in recent months, the U.S. has said they are no longer willing to talk at this time. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling